This article is entitled "The Stars Have Aligned. Commercial Space Companies Brace for Lunar Economy." Oh, who knew that there was a lunar economy? That's kind of cool. There's a lunar economy coming up. I mean, I don't know what that would entail. Like, what kind of economy could be based on the moon? I guess there's like cool stuff up there. I don't know. Is there like minerals and stuff we're gonna mine? It seems like there's a lot of places right here on Earth that we haven't really exploited for mining. Not too long ago, they told us that in Antarctica, there's basically untouched land. What did our friend Admiral Byrd tell us in the mid-50s? That Antarctica is a land greater than the Americas, untouched by humans, full of resources. Wow. What about the oceans? God, they say that 70% of the Earth is ocean. Probably a lot of resources under those damn oceans. Probably would be easier to get to the bottom of the ocean than to the moon. Certainly would be easier to get to Antarctica. We've already been to Antarctica. Well, I guess we've been to the moon too. Silly me. I mean, you think before we started to get resources from the damn moon, you'd maybe, try to exploit some of those resources right here on Earth. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I could see, it's easy to see how they're exploiting resources even around me. I could just drive down the road right where I live on the East Coast here in the Americas. I could see quarries that have been mined. I could see coal mines. I see fracking for natural gas. Out in the South, in the Midwest, I can see these oil derricks. A lot of exploiting of natural resources right around me. It's not hard to imagine. Head on down to Antarctica. I mean, my point is they're so willing to exploit the resources right around where everybody lives, creating pollution, eyesores, polluting the water, the air, cutting down the rainforest of South America. They're okay with doing that. But God forbid, we go to Antarctica where there's nobody and there's nothing, not even a plant, much less life. Oh, there's some penguins down there on like a little fucking peninsula that kind of just swim back and forth to South America. So you're telling me that there's a whole continent that's just a bunch of fucking snow with a bunch of resources, but we need to leave that untouched. And you're going to strip mine, pollute, and basically destroy the ecology of our home where we actually live, but you're not going to touch Antarctica. But hey, we don't need to, everybody. Just forget about what Z says. Who gives a fuck about that idiot? I heard he lives in a basement. Oh, loser. We'll just go to the moon, Z, dummy. Who the fuck needs Antarctica or the deep ocean? We got the moon for resources. Of course. God, silly me. Let's get into it, guys. That's enough of my little preamble. This article is called "The Stars Have Aligned. Commercial Space Companies Brace for Lunar Economy." More than 50 years after the Apollo mission landed the last American aircraft on the surface of the moon. Oh, thanks. Because we all know that was real, of course. Here's guys, let me show you why it's all bullshit. Because when your first sentence starts off with like a bullshit lie that like probably at this point the majority of people don't even believe in anymore. I don't know. Maybe people still believe in that fucking moon landing. When the first sentence starts off with a bullshit lie, what does it say about the rest of the article? Let's continue. More than 50 years after the Apollo mission landed the last American aircraft on the surface of the moon, Pittsburgh-based Astrobiotic is attempting to repeat the same feat, with one big distinction: becoming the first commercial space company to achieve lunar landing. Thank you. Hell, you know what's weird? I mean, I thought it would be like SpaceX, because that Elon Musk, he's already shuttling astronauts back and forth to the International Space Station. So apparently Elon Musk and his private company SpaceX has already achieved low Earth orbit. I mean, that idiot Richard Branson, that other dummy, the guy who owns Amazon, Mr. Dr. Evil, Jeff Bezos, those two dummies couldn't break, into low Earth orbit. They're just going really high, like 62 miles up into the upper stratosphere. But the super genius Elon Musk, he figured out how to do low Earth orbit to the point now where he's shuttling astronauts back and forth to the ISS. I thought he would have been like the first private company to go to the moon. But apparently he has his eyes on Mars. I mean, I don't know. Like, part of me thinks that, if you were trying to get your way to Mars, the first thing to do would be maybe go to the moon first. I mean, it is a lot closer, apparently. But no, Elon's got it figured out. The moon's old news to Elon. I mean, Elon's like, fuck, India went to the moon. And he's like, come on, India? And like, India, really? So the moon's old hat to Elon. So now, thankfully, we have this Pittsburgh-based company, Astrobiotic. They're going to be the first commercial space company to achieve a lunar landing. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Let's continue. It took a while, quote, it took a while for technology to advance to the point where we could affordably, routinely, regularly get to the surface of the moon. Astrobiotic CEO John Thornton said, the stars have aligned for the moon, if you will. Interesting. Because like the first sentence said, for 50 years, there was like nothing. Like, we went to the moon like a bunch, like 6 times or something, like in the late 60s and early 70s. And then for 50 years, nothing. Nothing. I mean, they gave us, like this space shuttle that was able to get us out to like low Earth orbit, but that fucking hunk of junk wasn't going to the moon. Have you seen that space shuttle? But now, all of a sudden, after 50 years, the stars have aligned, apparently. And we're just going to the moon like it's nothing. But it's going to be nothing now, guys. It's going to be like George Jetson. Let's continue with this nonsensical article. Thornton and his team are placing their first bet on the Peregrine lunar lander. Peregrine. There's got to be something in that name. I'm not going to look into it now, but they're not just going to name it a weird name like Peregrine for nothing. A small class spacecraft developed inside Astrobiotics' 47,000 square foot facility, equipped with its electronics, propulsion, and communication system. The Peregrine will be loaded aboard the United Launch Alliance's Vulcan Center rocket, scheduled for launch later this year. Wow, later this year. So interesting. I don't know. Maybe you guys. I've never heard of this company, Astrobiotics. It kind of seemed like they just came out of nowhere. But apparently, no. They've been working diligently in developing this lunar lander. And this rocket. Because you always need a rocket to go with your lander. Got to get it up out there somehow. They've been working hard. And guess what, guys? They're going to launch it later this year. Hey, who knew? Maybe you guys all knew about it. I don't know. Let's continue. A $470 billion industry. Ooh, that's a lot. So let's get into the industry part. Because like I said, I mean, I thought there'd be a lot of industry right here on Earth. Like I said, Antarctica, under the oceans, but no, apparently it's on the moon. A successful landing would mark a major milestone in the private space race that has spawned a $470 billion industry globally and elevated a more audacious goal: human life on the moon. That's the money shot right there. Human life on the moon. Quote, to crack the nut of the moon, we need the infrastructure and resources to begin to start to work, Thornton said. The more we can remove our tether of reliance on Earth's resources and we travel into space, the more we become true space explorers and ultimately space settlers. Oh, I can't wait. Hey guys, we all saw Star Trek. Remember that? So look, hey guys, Star Trek got it right. Space settlers, can't wait. Like I said, who cares? I mean, I think it would be kind of cool if there was like hotels like under the ocean. Wouldn't that be nice? Like under the sea? I would do that. I've seen some of this stuff. Like these beautiful coral reefs under Australia. It'd probably cost a lot less money than like maybe make some like hotels under the water. It'd probably be a lot safer. I bet people would pay big bucks to go under the sea. You could have a whole industry around that. Wouldn't that be cool? Take a submersible, you go down there, you bring your favorite lady under the sea in an octopus's garden. That would be cool. I bet people pay big money for that. That might be profitable. But no, fuck that. Hey, even Antarctica, maybe take people down there. It'd be cool. But no. Before we go under the water, before we go to Antarctica, before we even do the George Jetson thing where we have like the cities above the clouds, hey, that would be fucking cool too. No, we're going to go to the goddamn moon. That makes sense. Okay, let's continue. While early Apollo missions were driven by government agencies like NASA, the rapid growth in private space companies has led to a surge in new missions stemming from private-public partnerships focused on specific research and space exploration. Elon Musk's SpaceX alone has operated 8 manned space flights to the International Space Station in partnership with NASA. It's kind of like I was saying. Musk already's been to ISS like 8 times. Now we got this other company doing it. Let's continue. Yet, commercial success on the moon has remained elusive. An attempt by Japanese company iSpace to land the first commercial lander on the lunar surface fell short earlier this year when the Hakodu-R lunar lander miscalculated the altitude and crashed. I didn't hear about this one. Sorry, Japan. I mean, I heard about those pesky Russians. They fucked up and they crashed their lunar lander. But I guess I missed all the news about the Japanese private space company when they crashed theirs. God, space is so busy. I love you, space. So apparently the Japanese crashed the lunar lander. Astrobotic has already secured multiple contracts with NASA. Here's my thing, guys. Why do you keep telling me that these are private companies? But now you just told me again that Astrobionics already secured contracts with NASA. And the same thing with Elon Musk. You keep telling me that SpaceX is a private company, but he basically has all these contracts with NASA. It begs the question. I mean, I don't know. You know me. I'm the Zetetic warrior. I ask questions. That's what Zetetic means. It means to proceed by inquiry. So here's an inquiry. How do you have a private company existing in the private sector when it has to contract with NASA to perform its busyness? I don't know. It just begs the question. I mean, I don't know. It just kind of seems like it's just like all NASA, like masquerading as a private company. I don't know. You would say, Z, why would it benefit NASA to masquerade as a private company? Well, I don't know. Because public companies can be audited, like our good friend Nuba. He wants to audit NASA in conjunction with his good friend Mr. Austin Whitsett. So NASA is a private company. NASA is a public organization, and as such, it is under the scrutiny of the public and can be audited. But not SpaceX. See, that's a private company. And not this Astrobiotic. You see, that's a private company too. You can't audit these guys because it's private. But they're contracting through NASA. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of, like, you guys ever hear of Blackwater? Private company performing war operations in Iraq, Afghanistan, and elsewhere. What do you mean, Z? What do you mean, Z? What I'm saying is, hell, why have a public organization that's under the scrutiny of we the people when you could just take the function, the operations of said public organizations and put them in the private sector? Put them beyond scrutiny because they're private. Hell, it's the American way. We value private industry, right? We value the laissez-faire free market economy, right? You wouldn't infringe upon that? What does he know? He's just an idiot in the basement. Let's continue. Astrobotic has already secured multiple contracts with NASA, valued at roughly $450 million. Following the launch of the Peregrine lander, the company's larger lander, Griffin, they got a second one, will set out to deliver NASA's Viper rover to the South Pole of the Moon next year in search of water in the darkest corner of the planet. Why do you got to search for water? I thought those damn Indians just found water with their goofy, what is it? The Chandrayaan lander? I thought they already found water. What do you need to go up there if they already did it? Well, but now the Griffin is going to deliver NASA's Viper rover to the South Pole. Interesting. I mean, doesn't NASA just do it itself? You already had that, that damn Artemis ready to go up there. Why do we need this Astrobiotic to do their stupid lander and their launch rocket? Why can't we just use the one we already built for the fucking Artemis? No, we got this one. Interesting. I don't know. What do I know? Let's continue. Quote, you have to build a spacecraft that can fly for up to a month or more at a time through space. Get out to the moon, drop into lunar orbit, and then descend for a soft landing on the surface. Thornton said, it's extremely difficult to string all these series of successes together in a single spacecraft that can then deliver a business model. Hotels on the moon. The goal of establishing a long-term human presence on the moon has gained momentum in recent weeks. Last month, India became the first country to land a spacecraft on the South Pole of the moon, an area scientists believe holds reservoirs of frozen water. I thought you already found the water. Anyway, Thornton likened any water on the moon to oil on Earth, a resource so valuable that it's likely to expand lunar exploration. And the potential of future space exploration, including Mars missions, largely hinges on successes of the moon. Thornton said, really? Because Elon Musk seems to disagree. He's not worried about that stupid moon. He already has his eyes set on Mars. He's not worried about that. So as you tell me that, potential of future space exploration, including Mars mission, largely hinges on success of the moon, Elon Musk apparently disagrees. I don't know. Maybe you guys need to sit down, man. Have a discussion. You guys need to get your stories straight. Let's continue. Quote, as the costs come down, as we're able to use more in-space resources, there could become a point where the costs become affordable enough that you can potentially see the development of the very first hotels on the moon. Ooh. Like I said, who cares about those underwater hotels? Who cares about that dumb Antarctica? Let's bring hotels to the moon. Why not? The lunar surface could be how we refuel our spacecraft to go to Mars or other deep space destinations. It all starts right here with our nearest neighbor, the moon. Like I said, Elon Musk doesn't give a shit about the moon. So as your random guy, you're telling me that to get to Mars, you probably need the resources of the moon. We've already gotten to the Mars, apparently. We got all kinds of stuff up on Mars. Why are you telling me we need to go to the moon first? I don't know. Weird. God, it's almost like they confuse us on purpose. It's almost like they present like conflicting narratives to place us in a state of cognitive dissonance, to split our psyche to a point where we really can't think. We just glitch out and say, hey, what happened with the NFL this weekend? What's going on with Dancing with the Stars? America's Got Talent? What's the next Marvel movie coming out? And hey, who liked me on Tinder? Swipe right, everybody. It's almost like they're trying to glitch you out with a crazy story that doesn't make any fucking sense. Let's continue. Looks like we're almost done. Yeah. At Astrobiotics, Pittsburgh headquarters, that business model is front and center, and the words "making space accessible to the world" are emblazoned on the wall. While the company's immediate focus is on delivering cargo to the moon, it's also building out the lunar infrastructure in anticipation of astronauts and space tourists eventually spending longer periods there. Here's my question, guys. You have this company. Now, let's just think about it. If any company needs to form, you need investors. And really, to get people investing money in your company, you have to give them a promise of a return on investment. It's called an ROI. Anybody who knows even the smallest modicum of, let's say business theory knows that for people to invest in your business, they want a return. Well, let me ask you, who is it that's such an innovator, such a futurist, that they're going to invest their money in a company that's basically promised a return, like in the future? Let me just put it like this: if I'm like a 60-year-old Russian oligarch and I got a shitload of money, why in hell would I invest all my super duper riches and all the money I have into a company with this long shot idea of putting hotels on the moon in the future? I mean, I would ask myself questions like this. Okay, assuming that it's not complete bullshit, who's to say that this is the company that's going to be the one to put hotels on the moon? Like I said, that damn Elon Musk, he's already sent 8 missions to the ISS. He already apparently has the technology to get beyond low Earth orbit, or at least into it. So if I got Elon, the super genius, already up there in space, why would I invest money into these idiots at Astrobiotics? They're located in Pittsburgh. Hey guys, I've been to Pittsburgh. Have you ever been to Pittsburgh? Do you really think some idiot company in Pittsburgh is going to be blasting people to the moon? Who would invest money in this cockamamie company that's going to build hotels on the moon? Nobody would ever. It's a joke. Let's continue. While the company's immediate focus is on delivering cargo to the moon, it's also building out the lunar infrastructure in anticipation of astronauts and space tourists eventually spending longer periods there. For instance, its wireless charger is designed to withstand moon dust storms. It gave rovers and landers a direct source of power to keep those chargers powered. Astrobiotics is also building portable energy grids and solar power. Thanks, guys. Portable energy grids. Landed onto a rover, the Lunar grid, nice name for a power grid on the moon, will act like a mini gas station, generating and distributing power, but especially critical during the lunar night, which spans 14 days. Right. Quote, if you run out of power on the moon, that's game over. Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that. Imagine that. You're on the moon, you run out of power. Uh-oh. Said Jay Eckert, senior project manager. Quote, you don't get to go up there and plug it in or bring extra batteries. Nice one there, buddy. And that's it for this interesting and informational article. Isn't that great, guys? Hey, who wants to go to the moon? Who wants to come? Hey, if Z goes to the moon, I'm bringing somebody. We're going to do a new contest on the Z show. Which one of you lovely ladies gets to come up to the moon with Z? What do you think, Heidi? Will it be you? How about you, Special K? I've seen you. Hey, Special K, I wouldn't mind spending a little time in a moon hotel with you. And that low gravity, that moon gravity, we could do some nice, I think we should get some nice action going there. What do you think, Special K? Heidi? Of course, Christy Lee dolls. And Cadence, I'm not leaving you out either. And then the other ladies that I might be forgetting. Maybe we'll do that in the near future. We're going to have a little game show and Z show. Decide which one of you ladies is going to be eligible for some space sex with yours truly, Zetetic Warrior. I'm into it. Because I'm not going into the moon by myself. I'm bringing somebody. I'm going to make it worth it. And you got to realize, ladies, there's going to be an expectation. We're not going to get all the way up to the moon and you're going to pull the, let's just be friends thing and let's take it slowly. That's not going to happen. If we're going to the moon, there's going to be an expectation. We're not going to get there and have you kind of get cold feet on me. So, just know that. All right? There will be some space sex if we're going to the moon. I'm just saying. Who's with me? Who wants in? Oh, Christy Lee Doll's out. She's got a BF. That's all right. Special K just laughs. Oh, she's in. Come on, Cadence. Ooh, Tracy B. Nice. She's in. All right, Trace. Is it Trace or Tracy B? I'm just going to keep calling you Tracy until further notice. What do you think, Moose, Mr. Producer Moose? Can you help me produce the segment where we figure out who's going to come to the moon with yours truly? Can we do that? I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. All right, it's enough of this. I'm going to lose my mind with this stuff. I'm going to lose my mind. Let me talk to all my quote-unquote flat earthers. And even the ones who are like, oh, I'm not a flat earther, Z. I just know everything's level and horizontal. But don't call me a flat earther. Hey, guess what? You're a flat earther, dummy. I don't care what you call yourself. You're still a flat earther. Wear it proudly. They're going to keep up with this moon propaganda because they're going to just want to make you look dumber and dumber and dumber. So every time, like you, Nuba, you, Solvermist, you know, all you guys, every time you're at the Thanksgiving table, well, you guys are like goofy, like Australians, British people. You guys don't celebrate Thanksgiving. So let me pick another holiday. Every time you're at the Christmas table, and all your like family members are like, oh, we're on the moon, hotels on the moon, everybody, Artemis, India, Chandrayaan. And you're like, I don't know if that's really happening. You're just going to look dumber and dumber to everybody around you. And they're going to get you to question yourself. They're going to get you to challenge everything that you accept. They're going to get you to challenge at everything that you know about demonstrable applied physical science. They're going to get you to challenge everything you know about what you observe and what you experience in this realm. They're going to get you to challenge it in the face of social scorn, public scrutiny, and social shame. They're going to get you to get in your emotions. They're going to get you to go against your logic and reasoning. They're going to continue to isolate you more and more. So you shut the fuck up and you go along to get along. Because who wants to be a dumb flat earther when there's hotels in the moon?